بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. So to start off, we'll just do a quick recap of last week, inshallah. Okay. So what did we cover? We finished before that Yusuf alayhi salam had become the king, the finance minister. And last week we started talking about the second half of the story, where Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers come back to him. He's now they now come to Egypt. And we discussed the reason for that. Does anyone remember why they came to Egypt? Because there was a famine. So the famine started off where? Not started off where? But the famine ended up reaching where they were in Palestine, right? And it took some time. It wasn't immediate, but we can estimate around what year they got to Palestine and they needed help. I think you guys are getting mixed up with the numbers. The year of the famine. The first or the second year of the famine. But the seventh or eighth year of Yusuf alayhi salam having power, being the finance minister. So because there were 7 years of the abundancy, and then 7 years of drought. So he came in about the second year. The brothers came in the first or the second year of the drought. Okay, I'm just coming back to my notes here. Give me a second. What is this? Finish all of this. Alhamdulillah, we covered. Oh, this is what we're starting with. Bismillah. Okay, so they came. فَعَرَفَهُمْ وَهُمْ لَهُ مُنْكِرُونَ. He recognized them, but they didn't recognize him. It's almost like you can think of it, because of the word munkirun, it's almost like you can think of it. They had some kind of a feeling on the inside. This man looks very familiar. He looks familiar, but what is it about him? Do we know him? Have we met him before? Because is he going to look the same as everyone else? No. Why? Okay, so good. So that's one reason, because he was young when they left. But is he going to look like everyone else around him? No. Because he's not from Egypt. He's not going to look like everyone else in the palace. He's not Egyptian. And they're going to choose specifically Egyptians to be in rule. So Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was put in in this position of the finance ministry, then he was the exception to the rule. Everyone else, they're going to choose Egyptians. Then we talked about when they came and they asked for supplies and they brought their money with them, and they did a trade, right? Like I'm going to buy the provisions from you and I'm going to pay you with this. And then we talked about Yusuf alayhi salam being very specific with the words that he was choosing. أني أوفي الكيل ألا ترون أني أوفي الكيل وأنا خير المنزلين. Don't you see that whatever you asked for, I gave it to you completely? But not just that, I have given you such good accommodations. Like, you have everything that you could. You are travelers. Travelers bring their tents with them and they sleep on sleep outside. I am giving you lodging. You are comfortable. Everything is. We're taking care of you because you're from out of the country. Okay. Then he says, فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي بِهِ فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ. So here you go. You have these two things. If you don't bring your brother, because you've already told me, we discussed this last week, they know because of the conversation between them that the 10 brothers, they have one more brother at home and a dad at home. So they asked for an extra share, but Yusuf ﷺ said, no, I can't give you any more than the amount of people that are present here now. And then because of talking, for one reason or another, like we discussed last time, they thought to themselves, they said that we have this other brother and our father loves him more. And Yusuf thought to himself, Yusuf thought out loud, because he knows the answer, but he was trying to trick them. So he thought out loud and he said, you are all so smart, so handsome, so strong, and you're big in numbers. And you're saying that this other brother who's at home is more beloved to your father than you 10? Next time you come, you have to bring him, because I have to see him. But if you don't bring him, فَإِن لَمْ تَأْتُونِي بِهِ فَلَا كَيْلَ لَكُمْ عِنْدِي وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ. Then I'm not going to give you a share of anything. I'm not going to sell you anything. There's a drought that's impacting this entire region. I am not going to give you anything. And وَلَا تَقْرَبُونَ. You won't even come close to me. Okay. قَالُوا سَنُرَاوِدُ عَنْهُ أَبَاهُ وَإِنَّا لَفَاعِلُونَ. We're going to convince our father to let him come with us. Now, for the ayat today, I'm just going to go over سَنُرَاوِدُ again. Because this is the same verb that was used when? The wife of the Aziz, when she tried to seduce him. So we talked about سَنُرَاوِدُ. What does it mean? Because over there it was rawattu, right? It's the same word, but it has different meanings. Because over here we're not going to say that we're going to seduce our father into letting him come with us. That doesn't make any sense. So the word rawad, that doesn't mean seduction. What does it mean? Persuade is good, yes? You are not giving in. You are doing the action for someone else to give in. Convince, okay? Hoax? Hoax? Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, it has a lot to do with persuade. The base meaning of the word is persuade. But what we keep in mind is, especially for the next ayat that are about to come, the meaning of this word is to keep chipping away at something until it finally breaks. All right, so you're going to keep on trying over and over again. So the meaning of the persist is a good word. So the meaning of the application of the word with Yusuf alayhi salam and the Imrat Aziz is that she kept on trying to convince him and persuade him, and she persisted in doing this to get him to fall and commit the sin. And we know that he wouldn't. Over here is, our father is going to say no, but we're going to keep on convincing him and trying to persuade him, and we won't stop. We'll continue to persist until he actually lets us do it. And we talked about وَإِنَّا لَفَاعِلُونَ, meaning that it is not a verb for the future, meaning we're going to do it. It is a way to describe what they are currently doing right now. So for example, if I was to say, I am going to speak, then I'm telling you what my intention is, and I'm going to do it at another time. But right now, if I'm saying, I am a speaker, then I'm describing what I am doing. When they say وَإِنَّا لَفَاعِلُونَ, it means I am 100% going to do this. So it's extra added emphasis. If they said سَنَفْعَلُ, we're going to do this in the future, it would have less meaning. But here they're so emphatic, trying to convince Yusuf alayhi salam, the Aziz, that they'll get it done, that they use this very specific language to show that they have made up their minds and they're going to do it no matter what. No matter what. So now we get to this ayah. 62? Yes. Bismillah.
وقال لفتيانه اجعلوا بضاعتهم في رحالهم لعلهم يعرفونها إذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم لعلهم يرجعون.
And he spoke to his young attendants, put their payment back in their bags so they might recognize it upon getting back to their families. That way, they should return. Okay, so here's a few different things. There are two ways to read Lifityani, and it's very cool because each of the qira'at give you a further description of the situation while remaining factually correct, like factually plausible. It's very cool. This is one of the things about the Quran that is so amazing. So lifityanihi is recited in two ways. Lifityatihi and lifityanihi, like it's here. Lifityanihi is describing a large number of something, whereas fityatihi is describing a small number of something. So if you're going to talk about, here he says, and he spoke to his young attendants, put their payment back in their bags, what would it be referring to? What would need, trying to think of the right way to say this. If you were going to describe something of a large number, what would be, how would you, what would you want to quantify in this ayah? If you're, there we go. If you're going to use something big, if you want to describe something big, like a big number of something, which thing here would you want to quantify? The attendance or the money? Okay, the money is inside of the? Yeah. So the rihal. So it's either the attendance or the rihal. So here's the question: which one is going to apply to which? And this is a little critical thinking. Fityanihi, like it's here, is referring to a big number. Fityatihi is referring to a small number. Okay? If it's fityanihi, the big number, what is it referring to? These are your two options: the attendance number or the rihal.
There's a lot that needs to carry them, and there's a lot of bidah as well, right? A lot of people are going to be carrying, that means that there's a lot to be carried.
Very good. But it's one of the two. It's one of the two. If it's either a lot of attendance or it's a lot of bags. But you're right in the sense that if there's a lot of bags, there has to be a lot of attendance. But the answer to this question will clarify why it's only one of the two. Okay. I'm not following. The fityan, the number of it, their number is, yes, you're right. I see what you're saying. It's because li is focusing on the word fityan, therefore the attendance must be are great in number. But the question isn't just about that. It's the description of a large number is not only for the fityan, it's going to be for the number of bags that are there. Oh, let me just give you the answer because I can't think of a way to ask the question.
They just gave them the money that they had already, right? They essentially never paid for it. They get
That's what ended up happening, yes.
all the provisions.
And he gave the money back.
Money.
Yeah. Okay, I think the confusion here is because I don't know how to ask the question. Like let me just give you the answer because I just don't know how to ask the question. So there's two ways. Fityanihi is to describe something that is in big number, and if they were going to describe something in a large number, then the ayah is referring to the rihal, because there is so much of so many bags that these 10 brothers have brought for their months-long journey that there are a lot of bags there. So as a result, that is why fityanihi is used as a describer of a large number of things to correspond with the amount of the amount of bags. Fityatihi, the other recitation, is used to denote a smaller number of things, because Yusuf alayhi salam would only bring his closest, the closest attendants to him, his closest people to him, to do this job. Why? He could trust them. Yes, and the answer kind of carries all of it, but I want to hear the actual thing. Yusuf alayhi salam is doing something that is not wrong, but it's not typical.
Because he's kind of like setting them up in a way. Right. You know, like he's like plotting right now in order to get his brother. You know, so he's not necessarily being super truthful, but he's also like he's setting them up.
So he's doing something that's not traditional, it's not normal, it's not something that maybe he should be doing. So as a result, he can only choose his trusted few. And if he doesn't choose only his trusted few, then word will get out, and then the brothers may eventually realize, or the other people might realize, and he may get in trouble for it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that like very secret.
You wanted to keep it secretive, yeah. All right. Yes. Yeah, but remember, in the original mushaf, the dot on top of the noon wouldn't be there. It would be 2 dots for the ta. Well,
When you say the bags that the brothers brought, are you talking about the bags that are empty that is not being filled with provisions, or are you talking about the bags that the brothers brought with the monies to pay for provisions?
talking about the bags.
Like were the bags empty?
The bags.
Christian from the Christian Bible, they brought the monies that the father had given them to buy the provisions. So that's from that perspective, and to fill the bags with the provisions that they needed.
Okay. So Imam Razi, he touched on this, and he said Yusuf alayhi salam they paid with the money to get all of the things, and then the provisions were camel load amount of provisions. So most likely the provisions themselves may not have been placed back into the bags. Like the way that I think about it in my mind is like they brought a bunch of duffel bags. Okay, inside of the duffel bags, some of the provisions were put in there, some of their clothes and some of their necessities were put in there. So Yusuf alayhi salam had his attendants put bits and pieces of it into different bags so that it wouldn't be found, until they finally got, and then we're going to cover in the next couple of ayahs what the consequence of that is. Okay, so why did Yusuf alayhi salam give the money back? So there are a number of different reasons why the Mufassirun mention. Okay, so we'll cover this. So number one was when they opened the bags and they found their payments, then they would recognize how generous this person is, Yusuf alayhi salam, and it would require them to come back, or it would motivate them rather to come back to, have another transaction with this person. Another reason, Yusuf alayhi salam feared that their father would not have enough money to send them again. So they take their provisions, they go all the way back to Palestine, and now there's not enough money. Now what? they can't come back. There's no point in coming back because they can't afford anything else. So he gives it back. He gives them that money back so that they have something to come back with. Number 3, he knew that Yaqub alayhi salam, his father, was in a hardship and he wanted to serve his father, so he gave the money back so that it could help his father. Number 4, he felt it would be bad manners to expect payments from his blood brothers. So as a result, he gave the money back. And this means that there was a famine happening, they are in exceptional need, and therefore it's not correct to demand money from family when you have a responsibility to help them. Also, there's another opinion that given their status and their nobility, when the money was found, they would think they have to go back because maybe this was a mistake, and we need to be we need to have integrity in our transactions. So if this was a mistake, we have to go back to return it. And amongst them, there are a number of things, and I'm just remembering now that we already covered this ayah last week. Did we? We did? Okay, we already covered this. So I wasted okay. Okay.
But you didn't explain like how the beginning, toward the beginning.
The Lifitanihi?
Yeah, you didn't explain.
Okay. That's probably because I was running out of time. All right. إِذَا انْقَلَبُوا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. So لَعَلَّهُم here, يَرْجِعُونَ. Yusuf alayhi salam is hoping. He doesn't know what's going to end up happening, right? So he's saying لَعَلَّهُم يَرْجِعُونَ. He's saying لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ because he's hoping, with the hope that they're going to come back. Okay, so now today's ayah. فَلَمَّا رَجَعُوا إِلَىٰ أَبِيهِمْ قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل فأرسل معنا أخانا نكتل وإنا له لحافظون قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. All right, now this gets so serious so fast. When they did get back to their father, okay, so now again there's a time lapse. We're going to skip months because it's going to take a long time to travel from Egypt back up to Palestine. They said, Dad, the full amount was denied to us, so you have to send our brother along with us, so we get the amount. Rest assured, we'll keep him safe. He replied, meaning Yaqub alayhi salam, is there any way for me to trust you with him other than how I trusted you with his brother last time? Regardless, God is better as a protector, and He is the most loving and caring of all. All right. Bismillah. فلما رجعوا إلى أبيهم قالوا يا أبانا منع منا الكيل. منع منا الكيل. We were prohibited from getting our share. منع منا الكيل. Is this true? Why are they saying this? Did I give it away by accidentally saying full? This is it. So, they obviously they can't hide the fact that they have the provisions. Because they're coming back with 10 camel loads of food that's supposed to last them for a long time. They're in a famine, there's no rain coming down, they don't have food. You can't just hide 10 camel loads of food that they have. So they come back to Yaqub, they say, Muni'a min al-kayl, we have been blocked or prohibited from getting our share. But the meaning of that is our familial share that all of us deserve. Because the brother, Binyamin, the one brother that didn't travel with them, is owed one share. And actually, even the father is owed one share. So they're saying we were prohibited from the entire thing. But do we really need 10 camel loads of food? That's a lot. That's a lot of food. So maybe they don't need the father's share. But Yusuf alayhi salam made it very clear, if you don't come back with your brother, I'm not going to give you any more. So they say, فَأَرْسِلْ مَعَنَا أَخَانَا نَكْتَلْ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. Send him with us so that we can get the full amount that this family can, deserves and is going to be good for us. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We are going to take care of him. Those are the exact words, وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ, that the brother said to Yaqub the first time in regards to Yusuf alayhi salam. In regards to Yusuf. So now, that's why the title up there is The Boys Who Cried Wolf. And if you're not familiar, there's like a adage, this almost nursery rhyme, like it's a kid's story. If there's a boy who cried wolf, and he kept on telling people, in his area, there's a wolf coming, and everyone would react. Then they wouldn't find the wolf. And then he would do it again. They would react, nothing would be there. He would do it again, they would react, nothing would happen. Until one day a wolf actually came. And he started telling people, there's a wolf here. And no one believed him because he said it so many times. So the wolf eats him. The boys who cried wolf. So they said, send our brother with us. We're going to take care of him. The exact same things that they said before in regards to Yusuf alayhi salam. So he wakes up. Right? Actually, let me cover وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ first. So, just a contrast between the two. أرسل معنا غدا يرتع ويلعب وإنا له لحافظون. Send him with us. We're going to have fun. We're going to play. We're going to graze. We're going to do all of these things, and we're going to take care of him. What was their intention that first time?
Was to actually lose half the
The first intention was deception, and now it's a completely sincere intention here. The first time he got Yusuf. In the second one, are they going to get Binyamin? What Yaqub's first reaction going to be? It's going to be no. Because the first reaction is going to be no. Why? Because when you make a mistake, it's only natural that other people around you are going to second guess you. This is natural. This is only natural. If you do something that is so wrong, that's blatantly wrong, then people are going to second guess you, and that's the best case scenario, that they'll second guess you. But most of the time, what's going to end up happening? They're going to quit on you. They're going to think that you're untrustworthy. They're going to think that you are a liar. They're going to think that you are irresponsible. And you won't get that same responsibility again, or that same task, or that same trust from anyone else. That's just how naturally humanity works. And as a result, Yaqub alayhi salam said to his kids, قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه من قبل. Do you want me to trust you with his safety the same way that I trusted you before with Yusuf? Like here, he's not even saying his name. And they're 12 what? 12 brothers. They're 12 brothers. Yes? All of them are related. They're all brothers. They're all sons of Yaqub. And we know specifically the lineage, and Yusuf and Binyamin are full brothers and the rest are not full brothers with them. Okay, but let's put that to the side for a second. What is Yaqub's emotional argument against them? emotional and logical. What is the argument? كَمَا أَمِنْتُكُمْ عَلَىٰ أَخِيهِ مِنْ قَبْلِ. He doesn't say أَخِيكُمْ. He says, just like I trusted you with his brother, not with all of your brothers. What do you think the logic there is? What do you think the lesson there is? Yeah, because he's living from their past experience. We get that. But the question here specifically is, he mentions akhihi, not akhikum. It's his full brother. But I said that is an argument to be made, but let's leave that to the side because there's more that you can dissect. A little bit louder. Good. So this is one part of it. Binyamin, Yaqub alayhi salam is looking out for Binyamin the same way he looked after Yusuf first. He has a very special care for these two because their mother died when they were young. Right? This is something we discussed all the way at the beginning. Now at this point, they've been without Yusuf alayhi salam for almost 40 years or something, more than 40 years. And Binyamin is a grown man who can make his own decisions. Right? He's much older. He's not Yusuf's 7 years old when he was thrown in the well. He's a grown man, more than 40 years old. So he can make his own decision, but they're still asking the father for permission. He says akhihi min qabl to differentiate between him and Yusuf's relationship and the rest of them, because the rest of them plotted against this family. Yusuf and his brother, because his brother Binyamin was hurt. His full brother, his only full brother, was made to disappear. Right? So at this point, Yaqub alayhi salam is thinking, his brother, because you lost your right to call him a brother. You got rid of him. This is all he knows. This is his full brother, yes. But you, 10, hurt him, tried to kill him, got rid of him, and lost your rights for calling him your brother. His Binyamin's relationship with Yusuf is much stronger than your 10's can be, as a result of the actions that you did. Did they try to? Binyamin was much younger, and he had no special place in Yaqub's heart like Yusuf did. Yusuf was a little bit older than Binyamin, and he was the center of attention. The other 10 brothers were jealous, and as a result killed him. So Yaqub alayhi salam most likely changed the way that he behaved around them, even if, let's say, he had more love for Binyamin. He changed the way that he behaved, and they didn't have the same opportunities with Binyamin. So, Yusuf alayhi salam? Yeah. There are a number of different things that we covered during the beginning, where we discussed why he behaved in this way, and we even discussed if it was right for him to behave in this way. So those are a few lessons from I think it was a second or third class. So this is why he says that. How can I trust you with him when I trusted you with the other brother, with his brother before? And what's left here unsaid is, and that ended up happening to him, and he ended up disappearing or dying or whatever. So the assumption that Yaqub is making, it's a very powerful assumption, and it goes to show the importance of a father or a parent's, what you call in Arabic farasa, which is intuition, to expect and always be on guard. To expect and to be on guard. This is something special that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to parents. And this is the age-old fighting, right, between parents and kids. Age-old. It's always happened. It has always happened. It is always going to happen. Parent thinks that they know more. Kid thinks that they know more. And then they go back and forth and they fight. This is age-old. It's always going to happen. It's always happened. So, Yaqub alayhi salam knows what his kids are going to do. Or he has a very strong suspicion that this is what's going to end up happening, and Binyamin is going to end up disappearing as well. And he can't go through that, as we're going to see. Yaqub alayhi salam has been significantly distressed over the last 40 years. فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا وَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best protector. Allah is the best protector. He's better at protector. But here, hafidha is a role. No, that's different. Hafidha is a role here, and this is one of those the other ones. There's two ways of reading hafidha. One is hafidha, and the other is hifdha. And they each have their own meaning. Hafidha is a role that's given. Allah is the best one in this role of protection. He is protector. So no matter what happens to any single person in the world ever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a protector, and there's no one better at protecting than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is an ongoing role. Hold on. One second. And the second is hifdha. And the hifdha is the actual act of protection. So he is best at protection. So the first one describes him as a role, the second describes the action itself. And both of those are applicable, and not just to the story, but in our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is, Allah is always protecting us in many different ways. Amongst them, we always have 5 angels that are with us. These are called the hafadha. These hafadha are specifically given to us for our protection. Things may come at us, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already mandated that these angels stand guard to protect us. We don't even know about them. We can't see them. We can't sense them. We can't feel them. But they're already there. They're always there. And that's one way. The other, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actively removes hardships from your path so that you are not met with that hardship. So let me give you a quick example. In 2015, I did Hajj. Do you know what else happened in 2015 during Hajj? What kind of accident? The crane fell, yes. We saw the crane. What else happened? Stampede. The stampede happened. There was a stampede where over 1,000 people died. And I was at that Hajj. And during that time, we were with one of our teachers who we wanted to go later. But he was in such a rush to go right after Fajr, or like soon after Fajr, to go to the Jamarat. We did that and came back. As a result, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, we were protected from the entire situation of the stampede. So there are things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does, removing harms from your path, that help you. And most of the time you'll never know. When you're driving a car and there's someone who is distracted, driving on their cell phone, but he makes the light go red, or he makes your car not start that day, or your brakes stop working, earlier than expected, and you completely miss that whole situation where that driver could have hit you. These are situations in your life, most of them you will never know. And as a result of this, and after finally understanding and realizing this very important point, do we really appreciate and understand the importance of always doing the dhikr of Allah? When we say Alhamdulillah, it is not only for the things that Allah has given us that we like. It is also for the things that He has removed from us. It is also for the things that He has given us that we don't understand. It is also for the hardships that He has taken away from us that we don't know, and for the hardships that He has relieved us from that we do know. All of this is encompassed in that thanks and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So, last question over here. فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. All right, this number 4 is not supposed to be on this. It's on the next page. So Allah says,
ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم قالوا يا أبانا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا ونمير أهلنا ونحفظ أخانا ونزداد كيل بعير ذلك كيل يسير.
Then, when they opened their things, meaning their bags and everything that they had received, they found their payment returned to them. They exclaimed, Dad, what more could we want? Here's our payment, which was returned to us, and we'll get supplies for our families. Look after our brother and get an extra camel's load. That's an effortless amount. Okay, what did they say? Here's our payment, which was returned to us. We'll get supplies for our families, look after our brother, and get an extra camel's load. 3 things. What are these 3 things? What is the purpose behind this? Why are they mentioning these 3 things? They're not going to regain his trust. It took 40 years of losing the trust. They're not going to gain the trust, but to convince him. 3 things. Before, same thing. Whenever Yaqub would say no, they would give all of their reasons. Before, it was mostly emotional reasons, emotional blackmail, trying to convince the father, if you don't do this, then X, Y, and Z, whatever is going to happen. Here, it's more logical reasons that have actual benefit. So, here's the first question before we go into the words of the surah. Why did Yaqub alayhi salam send them? Why did Yaqub alayhi salam, the father, allow Binyamin to go? This is still not supposed to be here. Very strange. I don't know why I did that. It's on 4-5, and it's supposed to be on 6. But it's not on here. Okay, so we're gonna wait, because you're probably sitting there thinking, how do you know that he let him go? Because the ayah didn't come yet. So it's the next ayah. All right, let me back up here. Okay. We're not going to talk about that. ما نبغي. Okay. ولما فتحوا متاعهم وجدوا بضاعتهم ردت إليهم قالوا يا أبنا ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا. What does ma nabghi mean? What else do we need to prove? Uh-huh.
Maybe it's coming from earth levy, which is that the line was making that up.
In, interesting, okay. Go ahead.
I'm trying to like tell them that like why would they like in a way why would they want to issue it, especially in a time of
Okay, interesting. All right. So, the Arabic language is very deep, and some words can have multiple different meanings. And this is one of, again, like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the things that gives the Quran so much power. You're able to think about the same ayat in multiple different ways, and sometimes it's like, in one situation you may think of it this way, and another situation you think of it in a different way. There's nothing other than the Quran that can do this. So this ma can have two meanings. Okay, the first is that it's for negation. Okay, so you can say in Arabic, like you don't want something, you would use this ma to say, I don't want this. Or you could use it for like I didn't do something. Okay, like I don't want something, or I didn't do something. Both of those are for negation. To say that, whatever question was asked or whatever happened, you're trying to say the opposite of that. That's one way. The second is for it to be a question. To ask a question. Okay? So, like you can ask, what is this? You would say, this, the ma. These are the two possibilities. But under them, they have further possibilities of what it could mean. So, if it is for negation, all right, like for nafi, then you can have multiple different meanings. Ma nabghi, one, we are not exaggerating. The meaning is we are not exaggerating. So, what would they be exaggerating about? They came back and they said, this person has given us 10 camel loads of food. He was so nice to us. Obviously, they're going to tell them about the entire stay. Right? He gave us lodging, he gave us food, he gave us safety, he gave us our full share, and all of this stuff. And then on top of that, he even gave us our money back. On top of that, he even gave us our money back. We are not exaggerating. How amazing this minister is, how kind, how generous he is. This is the first one. The second is for nafi, to negate something. We don't want anything, or we want for nothing. And this means Yusuf alayhi salam kept on giving and giving and giving, even though they were not asking for more. He was so generous that he continued to give them to a point where they would not have to ask for anything in addition to that, and all of their needs would be fulfilled. So we are talking about this person who is so generous that just keeps on giving, that he doesn't know when to stop to give. And the third is, we don't need any more. This is the third one, meaning everything that we have is sufficient for us. Everything that we have is sufficient for us. Everything is sufficient for us is in relation to the money. So who gave them the money to start with? Their father. Their father gave them the money, go and buy the stuff. So they're saying, Ma nabghi, we are going to go back and we're going to get more things, but we don't need anything from you because he already gave us the money back. So we don't need anything in addition. Okay. So that's if it was a nafi, if it was for negation. Now if it's a question, they're asking a rhetorical question. Okay? They're asking a rhetorical question. What is that? What more could we want? What more could we want? So if I was to say each of them has one meaning, instead of confusing you with all of those, one meaning is we don't want anymore. Okay? We don't want anymore. And the other is, what more could we want? These are both from the same two words. This is the power that I was trying to ask. So what is he trying to say from the rhetorical question, or what are the brothers trying to say from the rhetorical question? What else could we want? What is the benefit of mentioning that here? Because Yaqub alayhi salam is on guard. When they took Yusuf out, that's not something that was normal for them. That wasn't normal. So that put Yusuf on guard. Why are they taking him out? Maybe they have an ulterior motive. Right now they're trying to preemptively respond to that. We have no ulterior motives. What more could we want? Because we have the provisions. We'll get extra for him, and as a result we don't have to share from our own share. And we don't even need money from you to pay for it because he already gave us our money back. These are all the things that are put into consideration. Just in these two words, ما نبغي هذه بضاعتنا ردت إلينا. Our bags have been like all of our money has been given back to us. ونمير أهلنا ونمير أهلنا. What does namir mean? Namir is the one who brings someone else food. Is to bring someone else food. So when they say وَنَمِيرُ أَهْلَنَا, we're going to bring food for our family, they're saying we're going to get an entire camel loads worth of food over here. Okay? And it's not just a very simple way to say it. Like a stingy person is referred to as someone who has no khair and no khair and no? It's this word. No khair and no mer. No khair and no mer. There's no goodness and he's not someone to give goodness to others either. So he's saying, they're giving him these reasons. This is what we are going to do. These are our intentions. We are going to provide provisions for our entire family. وَنَحْفَظُ أَخَانَا. And we are going to fully take care of our brother. Fully take care of him. We're going to safeguard him. We're going to make sure that nothing bad happens to him. وَنَزْدَادُ كَيْلَ بَعِيرٍ. وَنَزْدَادُ كَيْلَ بَعِيرٍ. And we're going to have even more food than the first time we came. Because the first time they had 10, now they're going to come back with 11. ذَلِكَ كَيْلٌ يَسِيرٌ. This is essentially something easy. This is something essentially easy. Why are they describing it as easy? They already have the first provision, so there's two ways to understand this. The second time is going to be a lot quicker. Because we've already done this entire journey, we know exactly what to do, we have a relationship with him, we'll get it and we'll come right back. It will be an easy, effortless journey. The second is, if you don't give us the brother, if you don't let him come, then it's going to be a waste of a journey. Because yasir in this is going to mean a small amount. We are only going to receive a small amount of food. Which is, like when you think about it logically, that's not actually true. You have the option of 11 shares, you're still going to come back with, oh no, this is true. Because if they don't go with the brother, then they get 0. They get 0, right? So they're saying, if you don't send us with him, we're going to go all the way there, and it's going to be a waste because we're not going to get anything. Go ahead. No, because the word kail would have to jump from the provisions that were given by Yusuf alayhi salam to mean something completely different. And it wouldn't make sense for the meaning of the word to change. Okay, and last ayah.
قال لن أرسله معكم حتى تؤتوني موثقا من الله لتأتونني به إلا أن يحاط بكم فلما آتوه موثقهم قال الله على ما نقول وكيل.
He said, I won't be sending him with you until you give me a pledge sanctified by God, and swear that you will bring him back to me unless you're completely overpowered. Then, once they had given him their pledge, he said, God is trustee over these words we speak. Okay, little explanation there. Mawthiqan min Allah. Mawthiqan min Allah is a higher version of, if you've ever heard a conversation between two kids, like two Muslim teenagers, they'll be like, oh, this happened. Say wallah. Say wallah. So, qasam. Wallahi is a way of doing qasam, which means to swear. And you are swearing by Allah. And in our religion, we are not allowed to swear by anything other than Allah. So, like it's so popular nowadays. I swear by my parents. I swear by, someone's grave. I swear by whatever. All of this is impermissible. You only swear by Allah, no one else. He's saying, حَتَّى تُؤْتُونِي مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ, until you come to me with or you give me a pledge. And this pledge is essentially saying to them that I want you to swear by Allah that you're going to bring him back. So he's at a point now, and this is where I'm going to ask a question. Why does he let him go? He wants this pledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this pledge from the brothers from, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that no matter what, they're going to take care of him. The only excuse that they can possibly have is, he mentions, إِلَّا أَن يُحَاطَ بِكُمْ, unless you're completely overpowered and beaten and killed. Only then can he not come back. So why does he say that? Yusuf alayhi salam, yeah. But why is he letting them go? Or why is he letting Binyamin go? He trusts Allah. Interesting. Okay, he trusts Allah. Interesting. Okay, that's an interesting theory. But then, why is he saying that now and he didn't say that before? There was no reason to mistrust him? No, I don't mean with Yusuf. I mean here he said no.
He wanted to hear the words that they were saying about why they needed
He wanted to hear those. So just quick recap, because we don't have time left. He said no in one ayah. 2 ayahs later he said yes. Okay. Hold on. We only have a couple minutes, and I just want to finish off the ayah. إِلَّا أَن يُحَاطَ بِكُمْ. The meaning of this is, you will not give me any reason otherwise. Okay? So he knows that something bad is imminent and it's very likely that it's going to happen. But he lets them go anyway. What is the reason why he lets them go? They give him some proofs, some evidences that they're being honest and they're being genuine in this in this regard, right? They showed all of the money back. They brought all of the things back. They haven't shown animosity to Yusuf alayhi salam, to Binyamin throughout all of this time. They have gotten older. They are more righteous. They're showing Yaqub alayhi salam all of these different things. And there was an actual need. Like, we can't forget that there was an actual need. Yaqub didn't just stop caring about his son, like, okay, maybe he might die. But there was an actual need for food, given that there was a whole extra person that needed to be fed, who's Binyamin. And now they're not going to get any more food unless Binyamin goes. So they made that claim, and then they brought it out with some supporting evidence, like the money that came back inside of the bag. Okay. So he says, fine. You win, you've convinced me, but my heart is still not set on it. I think something bad might happen. So to be completely sure, you have to swear by Allah, and you're getting into a contract with Allah, not with me, with Allah, saying that you are going to bring him back unless you all die. So they say, okay. فَلَمَّا أَدَوْهُ مَوْثِقَهُمْ. Then he says, قَالَ اللَّهُ عَلَى مَا نَقُولُ وَكِيلٌ. Now this is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He says, لا يلدغ المؤمن من جحر مرتين, or من جحر واحد مرتين. The believer does not get stung from the same hole twice. Meaning, if there's a scorpion inside of a hole who's waiting to attack, the mu'min, the believer, does not get stung by the same hole 2 times. You got stung once, okay, you move on, don't make the same mistake again. So Yaqub alayhi salam is not trying to make the same mistake again. He didn't take the covenant the first time, but he let Yusuf go. Over here, he didn't let Binyamin go right away, but there was some evidence, and that evidence suggested that they were a little bit different than they were before. The brothers were different than they were before, and they may be telling the truth. So he said, okay, we're going to let him go with you. Then he ends off with wakil. And the meaning of wakil here is twofold. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the trustee between us, meaning this conversation is between us in this world, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is paying attention, He's recording all of this, He knows, and Allah is the one who overall is the one who's in charge to make this happen. And the second of this wakil, it actually also has the meaning of the word shaheed, meaning Allah is a witness to all of this. So in the very end, because he doesn't have anything else that he can do, he is powerless. As soon as they step outside of the home, he says, I want the covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They give it to him. And now he says, I want you to remember the entire time Allah is watching every single thing that you do. This is the message. So inshallah, next week we're going to talk about when the brothers go back over there. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.